Hello and welcome back to my channel. So we have the E46 again behind me, and today's job, if I can get it done, is aircon compressor. So let's take a quick look. Okay, I've taken off that part of the engine cover, and we can see the aircon compressor in the middle of the screen down there. So I'm going to take the airbox off and really start from there. Going to need to get underneath the car, so it's going to need to be jacked up. Yeah, I've seen on a couple of videos, perhaps it's the left-hand drive cars, have the aircon compressor on the other side. And it does look quite simple to get to. This one, however, does not. Yeah, power steering pumps on the other side on this car. And yeah, screwdriver down in there. I think it's well worth trying to do this yourself, because the previous owners of the car pretty much sold the car because of the air conditioning problem. Presumably also because the car was just randomly stopping, breaking down, and presumably also it was consuming a whole lot of oil. But this job, they said, was going to be $2,000, so they balked. Alright, I need both hands to finish this, but that's where we're at. Okay, so with that loosened, the airbox wants to come out. It's just held in by two pegs at the bottom, but there's just one plug here now, which is this one here, which will come off at this side here. Okay, so the airbox is just folded up out of the way. I didn't bother trying to get the plug off there. There's no need, just when you can fold it. We've still got this jibbly bit, but that doesn't matter. You can get that out of the way. There's a on the next step here really is identifying the compressor and just making 100% sure. So you can see the compressor down there. Notably, there's a Torx. These are going to be Torxed on. Dust German. Hopefully that is in focus down there. Let me just try that. Oh, let me try that. There you go. So I've got the new compressor here, and I can confirm it's the right one. Identifying feature for me is underneath where it crawled under. The case, obviously where the hoses go in, that's exactly the same. And this little ribbing here with the contour of the casing the same. So I won't truly know offset between mounting points and the nose of the compressor, but I'm pretty confident at this stage, so I'm going to progress further. So next step, I think, is going to be the hardware at the top, really, that holds the hoses on, and you can just see under there's an Allen. Going to need an Allen key. I've just exposed it there. There's two of those. which correspond with there. So I'm not going to be able to set you up to see that, but I'm just going to get in there and get that. Okay, so another step I've made here is I've lifted the car up so I can get under it, but it means I'm not leaning down so much. And before I take that fitting, or those two fittings off, just a reminder, I have had the system degassed professionally, and you'll need to do that. You can't release R134 refrigerant into the atmosphere. Not a good thing ever. Okay, tool setup for this reasonably hard to reach item is, let me take this apart for you. Alright, so a 1/4 inch drive, and this is an H6. I think it says H6 on it, if I can find it. Yeah, H6 with an extension and a socket, and that gets you in there. And I'll bring you back when it's time to do the torques. Houston, we have a problem. So that fastener there is on so tight, it's only an aluminium head and it's rounded out. So I'm going to need to extract that somehow. First step, I think, is going to be vice grips. Give that the crack. Notably, the other one came out, but it was at the brink of bloody 300 foot-pounds. It came off with a real ping. So I'm not hopeful of that, but I think next step would be after that maybe getting a groove in the head of it and seeing if I can't put an impact driver on it. Okay, so that didn't work. And just looking at the new item, this is the one that's stuck. It's just an aluminium casting. I reckon if I get onto that with some huge welly, and you can see I can access it down there. You can see the same thing there. Give that some massive welly. I should be able to smash that off without hurting. Well, I just don't want to hurt the this hose fitting. Okay, let's try that. Okay, time to crack out the air tools. Got an air chisel. I'm going to get in under the side of the body of the compressor there and chisel that through. Sit rep. It's a pain in the arse, eh? So I've tried air chiseling, limited slow progress. I've tried impact driver. Last attempt has involved drilling. So now I've got 2 drill holes. I think one has intercepted the bolt and gone most of the way through. So I am going to try to get a vice grip on it again. Okay, some interim success. I chiseled a flat blade or a flat screwdriver into the end of the bolt. This is an impact driver, so I can give it some good welly on the end, and it's moved 90 degrees. So I'm going to just keep going now. I think I've got it. That's a sweet sound of success. That was about an hour and a half of monkeying about, but here we go. Yeah, the drill bit did catch it pretty well actually. The chisel was hitting it too. But yeah, must have been enough to relieve the tension in the hole. So yeah, now we can progress. So what we've got now is, get the light out of your eyes, torques there. And there'll be a Torx at the back here somewhere. Oh yeah, you can see it down in there. Or can you? I certainly can see the wiring harness there. It's down. It's probably going to be gotten to from underneath. Down in there. Okay, so that's a Torx E10. Just an FYI. Okay, I've got that one Torx off. Before I go further, I'm going to get the serpentine belt off. This is pretty straightforward. What you're going to need here, not 100% compulsory, is a pin of some sort. I'm just using an old screwdriver. That pin keeps the tensioner in position once you've loosened it. And I've got a breaker bar with a 16mm on here. And you'll want to just put it on the on that bolt on the tensioner, and you're going to rotate clockwise as if you're tightening. But you'll see when we put some force on that, it loosens the belt off. And see if I can put you down. There we go. And I've got my pin, and I'm going to put it in here, and then release the tension, and you've got a loose belt at that point. So we can take that belt off. Alright, we're underneath now, and you can see the Torx there. That's one of two left. The other one will be behind. I'll get to that one and show you when I finish taking this one off. Okay, working from underneath the car, pardon the fan noise. That's just behind the engine mount there. There's the Torx for it there. I've taken the road wheel off so I can get in here properly. So now it's just a matter of getting my tool on there. I may need to take, might be easier if I take this tray off the bottom. Okay, now I decided to take the pan off the back of the engine here, and you can see that's giving me much better access through here to that Torx bit. Sorry, that Torx bolt. Okay, sit rep on this last bolt. Could not get a Torx in there. The shoulder of the socket was too fat for the clearance in there. So that's an little 8mm ratchet wrench, and it's working a treat. Okay, got it off. Good news, it's the right one. So clearly this is the old one. Original BMW. You can see my efforts to get this bolt out. Yeah, I did manage to crack it at the back here. I'm impressed with that. But yeah, it wasn't until I used the impact driver that was going to come out. So yeah, now it's just putting the new one in. Made in China. And it should go back in easier now that I know exactly what to look out for. And the other thing was, it took about an hour and a half to smash away at that. We're 3 hours in total. So I'll bring you back when I've got things back together. Well folks, we're at the halfway point. You can see I'm starting to orientate myself. But in the process of, I've recreated a scene here for you. It's going to be interesting. So I've been squirting some WD-40 into the bolt holes for the compressor, and then I looked in there and I saw, oh, this. Just sitting here, I saw this. Then I got a bit curious. What's that all about? Come over to the old compressor. And that, my friends, belongs in there. So for whatever reason, it's vibrated out. Okay, now you're now looking at my messy workbench. So the latest issue is that the new bolts to hold the hoses onto the unit are too short. So this is the munted one, which I can't reuse. I've reused the other one, and obviously there's no bite at all. So I'm in the vise here, just finishing off. I've trimmed this to size. So that's going to be my substitute. It's no longer a hex, no longer an Allen key type head. But there it is. Let's get that on. Alright, finished. All back together, cleaned up. Just got to put that wheel back on. And I'm going to get onto the dude that's going to put some fresh refrigerant juice in there. And hopefully he'll be here within the week. Cold air. Happy 18th birthday, Will. I hope you enjoy the cool air.